Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review, episode 274. This I'm reviewing the 1040th episode of the series, which is known as A Helmsman Pride and Angry Jinbe. Oh, right, Helmsman. Enraged Jinbe, excuse me. Yes. This episode pretty much adapts the whole rest of chapter 1018. Yep, basically pages 3 through 17 of the chapter. Yeah. And nothing from the next chapter. Nope, just one entire chapter. And you know the weird thing about this episode is? It's mostly one major focus the whole episode. We have two beginning portions. We have Luffy being resuscitated on the Heart Pirate submarine. The Polar Tango. That's very brief. Lasts for like barely a minute. Then we see Nami, Usopp, and Otama. We see a brief scene with them where they're basically riding on speed, trying to get to wherever they need to go. And of course, we have Draftman and Doflamingo take out troops, and we see a very interesting scene with Zeus, where we see a flashback of him where he basically see him crying when he's trying to attack Nami. And now he's basically referred to as not Nami's servant or henchman, but her partner. And takes out the more Animal Kingdom pirates. And that's pretty much it when it comes to that, because almost the entire episode is, like, aside from that early bit, is exclusively focused on the fight between Jinbe and Who's Who. Where this whole fight takes up pretty much almost this entire episode. And you might be asking, Nick, does this basically wrap up with this episode? Jinbe's fight with Who's Who? Excuse me. No, it doesn't. I'd say it got most of it done. Yeah, I definitely say so. And then here's a strange thing. They apparently don't conclude this fight until, like, not for another 4 chapters. Yeah. So, you could see it's mostly basically fight back and forth and reveal the reason why that basically Who's Who doesn't like, a little bit more information why Who's Who doesn't like Luffy. All because Red Hair Shanks robbed a government ship that contained the gum fruit, and he was wearing the straw hat at the time. The straw hat that Luffy's got right now. Yep. And of course, mentioned when he was in prison, where this prison guard, they don't say who this one was, because apparently they executed him not long after telling about the legend of the sun god Nika. And of course, she asked Jinbe about him, and Jinbe has no idea what he's talking about. Yeah, he has no idea. It is by far one of the most strangest conversations they have. And they basically fight back and forth. He has the iron body, he has his mouth turned basically like that. And of course, basically, you can see toward the end of the episode, Jinbe pretty much kind of defeats Who's Who, though it's confirmed a few episodes later that he does fully defeat him. But yes, that's the episode in a nutshell. It's an absolute great fight sequence. And it looks like next week is focused on Yamato and Frankie. Yep, that's focusing on next week. Alright, moving on to the new chapter manga 1066, The Will Ohara. Chapter's cover story is Germa 66 A in Emotionless Incursion. Volume 23, Germa returns with an added bonus. The reason why it says that because we see Sanji's siblings with Caesar Clown flying into the Germa 66 castle. Yep. You could kind of say this is mostly wrapping up. Like, look at this. You could say, oh yeah, this must be the end of the Germa 66 Emotion Incursion. I'd say probably one more. So the chapter starts out with basically like, we have Nico Robin. Because the whole thing is basically about a little bit of an expansion of a plot point from way back in Eddie's lobby. Yes, seriously. So apparently, This egghead island was the stuff in the Void Century, and this will think about Funk One kind of confirms that. Apparently, anyone who knows what this place has been eliminated. Why to listen? And of course, it was like, forget of all the hitting. I told you it's only a theory. But Nika Robin, if Ohara was wiped out over this theory, would that mean essentially the government admits it's true? In what capacity are you speaking here? The scholars Ohara had performed painstaking research on precious ancients that arrive at a theory. With your stage, you can learn the truth straight from the government. No, whether we're affiliated with the government or not, the result is the same. I will be eliminated for speaking about it. Yeah, torture. In that case, how did you know about the ancient kingdom? All texts in the library are completely all the will Ohara lives. And we have a bit of a flashback to the events of a flashback from Annie's lobby. And this will think about what's basically the events that day was shocked the world. The Isle of Scholars, Ohara, the most incredible knowledge places, were destroyed in the course of a single night, with only one little girl left alive. For the crime of being a fanatical sect of scholars seeking to overturn the world government itself. Some months after it happened, I took a trip to the remains of Ohara. I had known the great archaeologist Dr. Clove in my life, and though it pained and it may appropriate my sex, remember, you knew Professor Clover? He was adventurous, that's with the Void Century, and traveled all over the world in search of rare texts. Clover was arrested by the Navy and broke out of prison 10 times, made him the most famous archaeologist in the world. Even other scholars were drawn to him in his quest, and Ohara became a sacred land for archaeology. For their brilliance, it would cause a tragedy. And when I stepped foot on Ohara, where the tree of knowledge had been burned to the ground, I saw it stun me. The lake in the center of the island was full of massive books and papers of all kinds. What is this? I suspect, as the Bussicle was burned down the island around them, the scholars of Ohara made sure the final stand and died protecting the fortune they wished to leave behind in the future. English soldiers would not have the ability to recognize the value of seeing what they were seeing. Ohara won. When I saw and understood what happened, it left me hopeless to come tears from happening. And of course, more flashback to, well, the flashback in these live about Nika Robin's childhood. Staying with the books, we see a brief image of Nika Robin's mother, Nico Olivia, who looks exactly like her. And you know what the strange thing is? No, Oda has never revealed who Robin's father is. It's one of those massive mysteries related to the series, along with who Luffy's mom is. And of course, Frankie's like, hey, let's pick out the making Robin cry, stupid helmet. You gotta get it. These are very much shoes, pick up punk. Just you suspect Ohara covered evidence of the truth of the ancient kingdom. I see, then it's the truth. Where are the books now? I'm like, no. I want to think about has me, but if my spirits had heard about it, all of a lot of truth is, I encountered quite a combustion of people that day. Giants. Alright, lift up. What now doing it? Apparently giants understand the value of books. It's been a while. Hello, Vegapunk. Now, who's speaking to Vegapunk, you might ask? Why, it's Monkey D. Dragon, Luffy's father and Garp's son. And we see finally making his first official appearance in the manga, in person, the actual Vegapunk, who's got a humongous freaking head. Yes. It's like, Dragon, what are you doing? As you say in question, somehow your head is going even larger. You knew old Clover has happened. Yeah, you too? We had a way the idea would try a bad joke. Are you curious about those giants? They're not thieves. I've already looked into it. They came from Elbath, it seems, and they know what those books are worth. Their captain was a strange man covered all in bandages. He said, Odorog, gave their lives to humanity. Can't let history. So after they talked for it, apparently this is what not long after he talked to him, he recruited Emperor Ivanov and Botham and Kuma and created the Revolutionary Army like right afterwards. And of course, Nami's like, I didn't realize Luffy was so passionate. You mentioned Elbath? Dragon Fester Clover had a connection too? Interesting. Yeah, my brain is overflowing, man. Why did Karma help us? Why did you make us cyborg, Vegapunk? I was found by revolutionaries. Who must not allow the government to discover Ohara's library still lives? So, out of personal interest, I traveled Elbath in secret, and read all the books they rescued. In other words, the world mysteries that Ohara discovered are right here in my brain, which I carried the great work of researching them. That giant captain's name was Saul, wasn't it? He is currently in hiding. I could not tell you more, whoever you might be. And of course, Robin's crying because of Saul. Like, thank you, Dr. Vegapunk, for showing perhaps Bun's vein. I was simply enraged in all areas of study in nature science. So I'm going to show you. And then we see, apparently, like, oh yeah, we see Luffy get excited with and then we see this strange guy look like he's missing a lot of stuff. And the guy looks like Kinemon. Hang on, you. Thank you. You're Dragon Son, aren't you? I knew you were here. Thank you for coming. And you, Bonnie, you've grown so much. It's good to see you're flourishing. What? He's floating. Vegapunk. I see you're in too. Look, the dome shoes. You hover function. Push lever in. Yeah, this apparently is the current Dr. Vegapunk. The mysterious person who we've been mentioning throughout the entire series of One Piece. And this is him. This is the actual Dr. Vegapunk. Push it like this. Too high. I request help. Yeah, he's taking something and I think tagline is Dr. Vegapunk, the smartest man in the world, SSG, Navy Special Science Group leader. Interesting. In fact, he's got a stick in his head and a weird hat. Yeah, this is Dr. Vegapunk, the mysterious person who turned Bathama Kuma into a pacifista. Yeah, this guy here. The smartest man in the whole world. This guy here. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. This was definitely a very interesting chapter. I give the chapter 10 out of 10. It's just that damn good. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it for Stickler Review. Next up is going to be The Great Zhao Will Not Be Defeated. Okay, next video. Bye.